Yo, what's up? It's your boy Dizzy, and I'm back with another episode of Dizzy's Discussions. Today, I'm in the beautiful home of a guy who's just been balling ever since he got here to Tucson, Arizona. He has nearly 6,000 passing yards as a starting quarterback, 45 total touchdowns. If I named off all his accomplishments, we'd be here all night, and I told him I would be respectful of his time, but this is the one and only Noah Fifita. Noah, appreciate you taking the time to hop on the show, man.
For sure, man. Appreciate you coming out.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I want to say first and foremost, shout out to Coach Coley. He's the one that made the connection between Noah and I. He coached me at Alma, coached you at Servite.
Yes, sir.
How was it with him coaching you at Servite? Was he the same chill, laid-back guy that he was with me?
For sure. Coach Coley, cool. He taught me a lot, man, and I pay a lot of respect to him for what he's done for me as a quarterback and as a leader. Taught me a lot of formations, taught me how to lead. So that's definitely my guy. Still try to see him whenever I go back to Cali.
Yeah, of course, man. The thing I love the most about him is I think he would really listen to the players. Like, I remember playing for him. If we saw a certain coverage, saw a certain defense, and we said, "Coach, I think we should run it," he'd be like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead."
For sure. Nah, he was super laid back. He never let the moments get to him. So I always love Coach Coley for sure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, let's get right into it, man. I watched a recent interview of yours, and you said that this is Coach Brennan's team this year. This is his second year coaching here at U of A. What are some things that you saw last year that made you believe, this is a guy that we should all come back for, and that recruits should come in for?
I think Coach B he's super genuine. He knows who he is, and he never changes regardless of the situation. So we definitely came back for Coach B. We got a lot of respect for him, a lot of trust for him, trust in him to lead this program to where we want to be. And at the end of the day, last year didn't go as expected, so we all got amends to make.
Yeah. You did something that I feel like is rare in this era of college football. Jeff Fish was your coach. He's the one that brought you in, and then he ended up going to Washington. And some of the people that you play with here ended up going to Washington as well. Was there any thoughts of going up to Seattle? And if so, what ultimately led to you staying here in Tucson?
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely Coach Fish is my guy, and I still got so much love for him. He's one of the first ones to really believe in me. So I always owe him for life, for giving me a chance when nobody else would. So there definitely was an inclination that I would follow him to Seattle. But ultimately, it was the people in the locker room. That's the reason that we stayed last year to play with each other, and I think that's why that this year is such a big deal, that this is Coach Brennan's team, because at the end of the day, last year we stayed for each other, and obviously it didn't work out. So we made sure that going into this year, if you were staying, you're staying for Coach Brennan, and you're staying for the University of Arizona.
Okay, for sure. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That talks to the real brotherhood that you guys have here. One more question real quick about the portal, because there's been some stories and some rumors, especially this offseason, of other teams, other programs reaching out to players saying, "Hey, we'll slide you this NIL, this bread if you come play for us." You're a really good quarterback. That would improve a lot of QB rooms in the country. Did you get any offers like that this offseason?
I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one. I'm just happy to be here at the University of Arizona, man. If I wasn't, I would have hopped in the portal and see where God wanted me to be. But I'm extremely confident here. I feel like this is where God called me to be.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. One thing, I've been following you since you burst onto the scene at Servite, not many, but a few years ago.
Yeah.
And one thing I've noticed in following you is that you've really infused family into football, into really everything that you do, from committing here to U of A with T-Mac and Kenyon Burnett, to now your brother committed here a couple months ago. Talk about what it means to you to not only play the sport that you love, but to do it with who you love.
That's so special. I think it makes everything better, to be honest. My cousin, he actually lives with me. He said, Shanko Matautia, he's here too at the University of Arizona. But at the end of the day, this is what we talked about. This is what we dreamed about when you were young. And you dream about playing Division I football. You make jokes about doing it with each other, but not many people have been able to do what we do. So, I think if that's not proof that God is real and that God is great, I don't know what is.
Man, that's real. I'm an older brother. I got two younger brothers at home, and nothing brings more joy to me than to seeing them chase their dreams. Knowing that if you were to come back for a fifth year next year, you could play with your younger brother Dash. What does that mean to you? How does that feel?
It's exciting, to be honest. We've talked about it for sure. and at the end of the day, the story's in God's hands. He's been the author of my story from the get go, and he stays in control today. But I'm so proud of my little brother. Like you said, being an older brother, it means the world to me to see him doing what he loves to do and doing it at a high level. And I always tell people, man, he earned that.
Yeah.
He earned that opportunity to play at Arizona on his own. He had a fantastic year last year. They really could go win state this year. So I think I'm more excited as a little brother than as a teammate.
Okay.
Or as a big brother. I mean.
Yeah, I feel you. I don't know. He at Santa Margarita, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have my little brother might have something to say about that. With
Where he go?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, Cali ball is special, but I think Santa Margarita really got all the pieces to win it all this year for sure.
I feel you. I mentioned them. You know, we got to talk about him a little bit. T-Mac, Tedero McMillan, a guy that's been a brother to you, a guy that you've been throwing the ball to for many years. He's now going to be in Carolina, getting the ball thrown to him by Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's like a brother to you. How did it feel to see him get drafted 8th overall?
It was surreal. There's videos kind of going around, but like I was honest. I'm not a super emotional guy. My dad taught me to be like super masculine, not be vulnerable. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that I was emotional that day. Kind of seeing your best friend live out his dreams and being able to see how excited he was. It looked like he was on top of the world. So he's earned every right. He's the best player I've ever seen in person. But I think anybody that knows him knows how great of a person he is. But it's a blessing to see him at the highest level, and nobody better to see him doing it with than Bryce Young, man. So other than T-Mac, Bryce is probably the best player I've seen. I was on the opposite sideline, but I love Bryce as a player, love him as a person, and excited to see what those two do together.
I share that with you because I was on the opposite sideline of Bryce one time too, and I don't think he did incompletion.
Yeah, that dude Bryce is special, man.
Yeah. You talk about T-Mac as a person, and I think as fans on the outside looking in, we only really focus on the player, like what we see on the field. But you know him as a person. What's your favorite memory or funniest memory that you have with T-Mac?
Man, I think anybody that knows T-Mac, you know that he's probably the goofiest person that you would ever meet. He has no filter, and a lot of the things a lot of our best stories together. I can't say on camera, but man, anybody that knows him knows how humble he is, how loyal he is. I just think the fact that when Coach Fish left, he was the one that really buckled down. He really could have went anywhere. He was the best player in the country, and he's the one that, without hesitation, wanted to stay at Arizona. So I think that just speaks to his loyalty, speaks to his personality, and that's what's gotten him here, and that's what's going to carry him.
Yeah, that's real. Obviously, you're very happy to see him live out his dreams and get to the next level. The downside is you won't have him to throw the ball to this upcoming season, but you've gone through spring ball. You're going through workouts right now. Fall camp's about to start. Who are some guys in that wideout room that are ready to make a name for themselves and step out there and be the next great at U of A?
Our receiver room is so deep. I've actually told a lot of people this. I told T-Mac this, but this might be one of the most deep wide receiver rooms I've ever had. From top to bottom, we're probably 8 to 10 wide receivers deep. All guys that could go, all guys that could play. So I'm super excited about them. Give a lot of credit to Bobby Wade, our receiver coach, as well as Coach Deggy, our OC. They did a great job recruiting great players, great people. I think the world's gonna know who Chris Hudson is. A lot of people in California knows who that is, but I think the whole world will know after this year. Javen Wadley from Chattanooga is really good. We get Chris Hunter and Jeremiah Patterson back. Luke Wysong from New Mexico, Trey Spivey from Kansas State. So we just got guys from top to bottom who's extremely special, and that's not even counting Brandon Phelps, our redshirt freshman, or our incoming freshman, and Gio Richardson and Isaiah Mizell.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. Sounds like you got weapons everywhere.
We got weapons.
How do you decide where the ball goes?
Is it gonna be easy this year? Shoot, whoever the best matchup is, whoever gets a one-on-one, we're gonna attack it. But like I said, we got weapons all over the field.
Yeah. Knowing the competitor that you are, I know that last year might have been a little disappointing, both from the team aspect and maybe from an individual aspect. Your interceptions doubled. The number of touchdowns you threw dropped from 2023 to 2024. Are you carrying that with you still, the way last season went? Or is it kind of like we're wiping the slate clean, we're going into the new year?
I think it's both. You gotta move on. You gotta be resilient. Last year was last year. It's a new year. It's a new offense. So there's definitely that aspect to it. But there's definitely a fire and an edge kind of in me right now that I haven't felt in a very long time. There's
Yeah.
I mean, we see all of the rankings. We see all of the what people are saying about us. And at the end of the day, us in the locker room is the only people that can control the narrative.
Yeah.
Media can say whatever they want to say. They could give out their rankings, but at the end of the day, we hold the pen to our story. So there's definitely, I think if you saw my wallpaper, you would see the motivation that we kind of have,
Yeah.
me individually and us as a team. So I think both.
For sure. Real quick, man, what are some things that you've focused on specifically in this off season to get better at and to have a better year this upcoming year?
We got a new offensive coordinator in Seth Deggy, so it's a new scheme. So really starting from scratch, being able to learn the offense, learn the ins and outs of it, kind of trying to learn the scheme to where you're just reacting, you're not thinking. So I felt like we took a big step during spring ball and throughout this summer. And obviously, fall camp will be the biggest step that we need to take going into the season. So that's definitely one, learning the offense. But I'm trying to be better in the pocket, play more on time, less chaotic plays, less broken plays, and then when necessary, I need to be more of a threat with my legs.
Speaking on that a little bit, you are in terms of size, you are a little smaller at the quarterback position, and we've seen guys like Tua, and you mentioned Bryce Young. He's a little smaller. Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, and it seems like they almost like anticipate while they're throwing. Does that play a part in the way you play at all?
For sure, preparation that's something I take pride in. That's something my dad always made sure I was on top of. Being shorter, being now I have a lack in one area, so I got to make up for it in other areas. So my preparation, my IQ, that's what I try to take pride in.
For sure. Now, being someone who used to play football and knows that you play the hardest position in all of North American sports, I try to be someone who's not like, man, just make that throw. You know, watching you on TV, man, just make that throw or throw that touch. But there's a lot of casual fans out there who are like, oh, he should be able to throw for 400 and 4 touchdowns a game. For those casuals out there, talk about the checklist that goes into having a successful play.
Yeah, there is a lot of things. That's why football is the greatest sport, because it's the ultimate team sport. It takes, especially offensively, defense. I mean, obviously defenses are getting so good, and personnel matters. But realistically, one person on defense can mess up and it won't affect the play. If a corner gets beat on one side, if the quarterback gets sacked, you know what I mean. So offensively, especially, it takes 11 players to make a play work. So I think the checklist varies play to play.
Yeah.
But it is extremely diverse, very, very dense.
Yeah, that diverse and complex checklist. Do you remember your first time having to go through it as a starter on the field at the Division I level?
Yeah, I think you practice so much, and I mean you got to give fans some leeway. I mean, at the end of the day, we do this for a living. I've been doing this my whole life, so a lot of the plays that they say I need to make, I really should make. So at the end of the day, whether you're nervous, you're hurt, stakes are high, you always fall back in the level of your training. So you do it so much throughout the year, during spring ball, during the summer, during fall camp. When you get out there, you're just kind of executing how you know how to play.
Yeah. In 2023, you were Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. Do you remember a game specifically where it was like, oh yeah, I'm in my groove. I know that I can play big time football here at the D1 level.
If we talk about that, I think when I went home for the first time, it was my second game starting. My first game on the road against USC when they were number 9 with Caleb Williams. We ended up taking them to triple overtime. We lost, but I guess you could say like that was my coming out party. But for me, I always believed I could play at this level. There's always that kind of humble confidence to me internally. But I would say that was my coming out party. But I would say my best game when I was in my groove was the team up north.
For sure, for sure. You hit on it a little bit. More recently, you just got done with the Big 12 Media Day. I watched a few of those interviews, and a lot of the questions, if not all of the questions, seem to be surrounded around the topic of you guys being underrated, underdogs, and really people looking over you. you and all of your teammates that went to the media day, how did you guys leave there? What fire was set under you guys after really seeing like what the media thinks of you?
Yeah, I mean we don't pay too much attention to the media and what, like I said, media, they're entitled to their own opinion, and at the end of the day, what we did last year makes their opinion true to this point. Now the only thing we could do is make sure that we could change the narrative this
Yeah.
year, and at the end of the day, that's in our complete control. But definitely leaving media day, there was a fire to lit.
Yeah.
Um, just kind of a feeling of disrespect, a feeling of being overlooked. But at the end of the day, like I said, our actions last year kind of deserved that attention. But best believe we're doing the work that we need to do. The people in our building believe that we can do what the media says we can't, and now we're gonna go prove it.
Yeah, let's speak on that a little bit. In another interview that I watched while you were up there, you said that success this year is a Big 12 championship. You guys had a rough year last year, so you obviously know what kind of went wrong there. So, what needs to happen this year in order for you guys to capture that championship?
We got to be ourselves. We got to know who we are. We got to know what our identity is, and we got to stick to it through the good times, through the bad times. It's a long season. You got to be able to. We got to stay healthy. We got to remember who we are. We got to take it one game at a time. You can't look forward. I think this conference is probably the best conference in terms of depth and in terms of top to bottom. Everybody could beat everybody. So each week is competitive. You can never overlook an opponent, and you got to go 1 week at a time, win one game at a time.
You mentioned the depth of the conference. There's some really good quarterbacks as well. You got Sam Levitt, you got Jalen Daniels, yourself. Is there ever a motivation of like I got to outperform that guy, or is it just about W's and L's?
It's just about winning. That's all it is. I think I think naturally you're a competitor, so you'll be thinking of it maybe leading up to the game. But once you get on game day, it's just about winning. That's the only stat that matters at the end of the day.
What does U of A need to do to get back on ASU this year?
we got to get there first for sure.
Yeah.
But we definitely got to get there. Like I said, one game at a time. But best believe I got that circled. Walking off the field last year, that's one of the big reasons I came back.
Yeah. Is there any like crazy, like you know what Ohio State, Michigan, Ohio State crosses out the M in every word. Is there anything crazy like that happens here in Tucson when it's U of A versus ASU week?
Nah, we don't got nothing like super drastic, like being able to kind of say. There's definitely is a hatred though. The alumni and the fans hate each other for sure. But I mean, there's nothing too crazy. I guess most rivalries don't say their name, so we usually don't say their name. But that's it.
I feel you, bro. Last question for you. Again, I appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule, man. This is my favorite question to ask, especially around this time of year, man. Like we said, you're trying to bounce back from last year, both as a team and individually. People are wondering how is Noah Fifita going to do without his number one weapon, T-Mac. There's going to be a lot of questions going into the year, but what can fans expect from Noah Fifita under center?
You don't got to expect nothing from me. You can expect the offense that's explosive. You can expect a team that wins. And we're going to bring a Big 12 championship back to Tucson.
Hell yeah. I love it. I love it, man. Again, I appreciate you taking the time out your busy schedule to sit down, man, inviting us into your beautiful home, man. And best of luck to you. Stay healthy, man. You know, I'll be watching.
Appreciate that, brother.
That's all we have time for here on Dizzy Discussions. Again, shout out to Coach Sean Coley for making the connection here. Please please subscribe. Make sure you follow Noah on all the socials. Make sure you follow me on all the socials, and just stay tuned. I have another video for you real soon.